Okay. Welcome to the Housing and Economic Development Committee meeting. Meeting is a little interesting today, so we'll begin with roll call, posting of the agenda, and the flag salute.
Member Basua.
Here.
Member Flynn.
Present.
Chair Madrigal.
Here.
Thank you. Chair, we have a quorum, and the agenda for this meeting was posted in the City Hall kiosk on Tuesday, March 17th.
Okay. Thank you very much. The flag salute. Everyone, please rise. And Mayor, can you lead us in the pledge?
Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Public comments on items not on the agenda.
We haven't received any, Chair.
Okay. Thank you very much. Moving on to the consent agenda, the approval of the minutes for the February 25th meeting.
Move to approve.
I will abstain. I wasn't present at the meeting.
Okay. Call for a vote.
Chair Madrigal, do you mind seconding?
Oh, sorry, I'll second.
Okay. Member Basua? Oh, I'm sorry, you're abstaining, yeah. Member Flynn?
Aye.
And Chair Madrigal?
Aye.
The motion carries 2-0 to 1.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have reports. Report by the Community Development Department. Subject, Economic Development Strategy, preliminary report. And we have Jeffrey Lambert, I believe, with the report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jeff Lambert, Community Development Director. I'll make some opening comments and turn it over to Rosie Ornelas, our Economic Development Manager. I just wanted to note that it is an odd time to be talking about economic development, but it also is an important thing for us to be considering. I will also note that the report in front of you was prepared, obviously, before we hit the COVID virus. Controls on our personal movement and business operations in our community. So it really predated where we are today. However, we will still use this opportunity to talk about our future economic development strategies. I've asked Rosie at the end of the presentation that's before you to just give you a quick summary of what we're doing today in response to the COVID virus and its effect on the business community in the city of Oxnard. So with that, I'll turn it over to Rosie.
Good afternoon, Chair Madrigal, Mayor Flynn, and Councilmember Basua. So we're here to talk a little bit today about a draft economic development strategy. We went ahead and took into consideration some of the comments that you had made last week and looked at what areas we wanted to focus on and came up with the following. So we wanted to see what our vision was, and it was clear to us that one of the things that we really wanted to do is to make sure that we established our city as a growing city of opportunities that would foster, sorry, hold on one second.
I'm sorry, that's me. Yeah, I think so. Nope, I didn't. I was trying to mute them.
Hold on, stand by. So this one.
Okay.
No worries. Okay. So as our vision, we want to make sure that we establish Oxnard as a growing city of opportunities that fosters a supportive economic ecosystem for both our businesses and our residents to thrive. One of the most important things that municipal government does is to provide a good quality of life for its residents, and that's done through infrastructure, public safety, and good governance. So a successful economic development strategy will help enable the city to realize these objectives. And our very means to provide these amenities will depend upon a thriving interconnected system that stimulates business retention, housing, technology, entrepreneurship, and opportunities for high-paying jobs. So what you are going to see is a strategy which consists of a vision, goals, and strategic focus areas with some specific action items and an implementation plan. So 3 of the goals that we felt were really important to be sure that we included were, number 1, to establish a business-friendly culture. We feel that it's important that everyone see our city as a place that is friendly to business, that wants to help business, and wants to retain the businesses that we have and help them grow. We want to be sure that we are providing resources which will attract new businesses, but again, emphasizing the wanting to retain and grow businesses that we already have that are existing in our city. And then the third thing is to increase the preparedness of our workforce. It's important that we have the employees that have the skills necessary to provide a pipeline for the existing businesses that we have, and that in addition to that, enable them to attain higher level positions. For a time frame, we decided that we would go with a shorter term strategy. We selected 3 years because we feel that the city is currently at a point in which our landscape is changing and technology is changing very rapidly. So 3 years from now, the technology that we have today will be outdated, and so we want to be sure that we're always keeping up with advanced technology. And as far as the areas that we decided to focus on, we took a look at the City Council's strategic priorities, the feedback that was given at the Housing and Economic Development meeting last summer, our current capacity and resources within our department, and in particular within economic development, and then opportunities that we have to partner with other organizations that can help us to achieve our goals. The 6 focus areas that we decided to emphasize are business retention and growth, access to economic opportunities, having a streamlined one-stop shop, downtown revitalization, investment in South Oxnard, and diversifying our economic base. So the first goal is business retention and growth. In particular, seeing that the current situation that we're in, and we think that it's going to be really important to take a look at our business sectors that we have in the city now. We want to make sure that we increase the number of businesses, in particular businesses that will complement the businesses that we currently have in our community. Along with that, we want to increase the number of jobs, and we want to be sure that we're communicating more frequently with our local business community. A couple of the action items that we deem important to follow up on in the next few years are expanding our business outreach efforts and adopting a fiber master plan. The second focus area is access to economic opportunities. Our objectives are to increase access for our residents to obtain higher skilled, higher paying jobs in the city of Oxnard. We'd like to make sure that we increase the median wage of our residents and that we increase the number of residents that are working in our city rather than commuting out to nearby cities. Some of the action items that we'd like to implement in the next few years are to launch an employee pipeline program by working closely with our community college and our local employers, making sure once again that we are able to provide them with the employees that have the skills that they need for the positions that they have available. We also would like to partner with some of our local nonprofits to see if we can create a funding source for our residents to be able to access the workforce training that they need to be able to obtain those jobs. And then finally, we want to increase participation in our city's job fair. We had our job fair scheduled for this coming Friday. Unfortunately, we have had to cancel that just to keep our community safe and healthy. But we anticipate putting that on as soon as it is reasonably safe to do so. Streamline one-stop shop. The objectives are to reduce the average number of days to approval for our entitlements and permits, to increase the number of businesses that are participating in our business assistance program, to increase the customer satisfaction level for community development services, and to speed private economic investment in the city of Oxnard through development. Some of the action items that we would like to see implemented in the next few years are to continue to implement development process improvements, to create marketing materials and a campaign that would promote our business assistance program, to survey our businesses for continuous feedback, and to implement permit tracking and a management system. The next focus area was downtown revitalization. The objectives are to build the first 250 to 500 units of downtown housing within 3 to 5 years, to make our downtown safer and cleaner, to strengthen our partnership with the Oxnard Downtown Management District, to activate Plaza Park and other public places, and to increase the number of businesses downtown. Some of the action items that will help us to achieve those objectives are to implement the downtown development projects, to host broker, realtor, and developer open houses, to address homelessness by reducing the number of unhoused individuals and to begin the construction of a navigation center, to work with the Oxnard Downtown Management District to establish a strong board of directors, to expand activities in Plaza Park and downtown, and to increase the facility rentals in Heritage Square. The next focus area is to invest in South Oxnard. Some of our objectives include strengthening the commercial corridor by increasing development and encouraging reinvestment along Saviors, making the Saviors corridor safer and cleaner, and creating a cultural gathering space for residents of South Oxnard. The action items associated are to explore funding opportunities to create a private business improvement district, public business improvement district, sorry, on Saviors, to partner with Centerpoint Mall to create a Zocalo, and to create and launch an arts academy in South Oxnard. And the final focus area is to diversify our economic base. Our objectives are to implement strategies that promote investment, to increase sustainable revenue sources, to capitalize on our existing industries to catalyze growth in related industry sectors, and to create an ecosystem that encourages entrepreneurs to start a business in Oxnard. Some of the action items associated to this focus area are to increase tourism activity, and this will be particularly important following this COVID-19, to increase the number of film permits, to finalize a track map for Sakioka Farms, and to begin hosting some events that will support entrepreneurs in our community. And in order to implement this strategy, some of the things that we are looking at doing, the first one is what we're doing here today, presenting the strategy to our Housing and Economic Development Committee. We're requesting that you give us feedback on how these align with your priorities. Following this, we will also be presenting this strategy to the Oxnard Chamber and to some of our other key stakeholders in the community. We will also work with city staff to ensure that the objectives, the action items, and the timeline are attainable. When we have completed this strategy, we will be presenting once again to our Housing and Economic Development Committee. And then finally, we will present the completed ED strategy to our City Council for adoption. As far as the financial impact is concerned, at one point the city had set aside $100,000 in Measure O money that was going to be used to create the strategy. Even though this was already authorized by the City Council, we decided that we would go ahead and do this in-house to save some of that money. We did anticipate that about $25,000 of that money would be needed to begin implementing some of these strategies. Therefore, that will be retained in the 2020-2021 fiscal year budget. Additional funds will be needed in the next 2 budget cycles in order for us to continue implementing some of the action items contained in the strategy. And our recommendation is that the Housing and Economic Development Committee receive this information and provide us with feedback on the proposed strategy and 3-year action plan. And Mr. Lambert had asked me to go through some of the items that we have been doing for our business sector crisis communication. So we have been communicating on a very regular basis with the Economic Development Collaborative and other cities that are in Ventura County. We are going to be continuing to do that and having 2 conference calls per week so that we can be aware of what all of the other cities are doing and making sure that we are continuing to do our best practices. We have placed local, state, and federal resources on the homepage of our website, on the Economic Development Department website. We have an economic development section, and on the homepage for economic development, we have a listing of all of the different resources that we have been providing, and that we feel would be helpful to our local business community. We had also distributed flyers to our businesses about the health officer order that was issued last week on March 18th. We have created another flyer that we will be issuing hopefully later this week that contains a listing of all of the, or of many of the helpful resources and links for our business community. We want to make sure that our business community is well informed on some of the resources that exist and how they can get some of the assistance that has been set aside for our business community. We have implemented new ways for plan checks and inspections. That process has been detailed in the Economic Development Department on our website. So anybody who is interested in learning more about what processes we are following while City Hall and city buildings are closed can go to that page and see what the process is for bringing in plans and continuing on with business and entitlements. We have created and launched an economic development newsletter, which was sent out to more than 4,000 contacts that we were able to get from the business tax certificates. We sent that out. It also includes information on the process that we are following in the Community Development Department to do business, in addition to all of the resources that I previously mentioned, different ways that businesses can seek assistance during this time. We fortunately have had a pretty good open rate on that. Almost 2,000 people opened that, about 1,800 people opened that newsletter. So we are able to see that there's definitely interest on the side of the business community to learn more about what is happening. We partnered with Visit Oxnard and the Chamber to put out some messaging on an event that has been done throughout the country to encourage people to support our local restaurants that are still doing takeout and delivery. So today was called the Great American Takeout, and we've done messaging on that to try to encourage people to support our small businesses and our restaurants that are still providing food and takeout through either picking it up or delivery. And we have also been translating the flyers that we are handing out to our businesses so that we can make sure that we are reaching our Spanish-speaking businesses as well. We also included a list of the measures that the city has implemented, also on the economic development page, so that we've had a couple of people ask us, well, what is the city doing? So we have a listing there of all the different ways, for example, the no commercial evictions, information on the news releases that the city has issued and measures that the city has implemented to assist our business community. Are there any questions?
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation and the information. Moving on, Mayor, floor is yours.
Thank you. Or in this case, the computer. And thank you. Thank you very much for the presentation. I just want to make sure you can hear my voice okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I really, I like this, and I like the fact that the city manager in particular and Mr. Lambert and others have decided that spending $100,000 on a plan when there are many initiatives that we can take without an economic development plan I think is wise. So I'm happy about that. And I'm happy that we've actually put together this for the committee to consider. So I just like to be very direct and have, I think, the greatest impact with the least amount of words, which isn't always easy to do. And that is that I think we want to, when it comes to the pipeline, and I'm very interested in that, the preparedness of our workforce for an employee pipeline. City manager and I have had a lot of discussions about this, and as many of the committee members know and the staff knows, I've promoted as a member of the council new economy jobs, so biotech, high tech, and medical research jobs. And the city manager and I have agreed on that, or he's acknowledged that's one of my priorities, or it's been a priority. He's been maybe perhaps a little bit more focused on manufacturing jobs, or jobs that aren't perhaps going to require extensive education. So it'd be working with the realities of the community and trying to get higher paying jobs for those who might only have a high school diploma, or maybe they only have a 2-year college degree. I'm totally in agreement with that, and I think it's what I'd like to advocate is that we're going after businesses and trying to attract businesses to the city that are going to offer jobs at all income levels. And the city manager and I, again, in our conversations, we've really agreed on that. So that is where my focus will be and has been. And I know that the city manager has been working and or entertaining questions, as has Mr. Lambert, about the Sakioka Farms. And let me just mention that for a second. Sakioka Farms is the last commercial industrial open space land that the city of Oxnard has. And I think it's extremely important about the vision for Sakioka Farms beyond the Sakioka Farms specific plan. And I think, and I really like some input from my colleagues on the committee. I really think that we have to think about attracting the very best businesses to Sakioka Farms. And what's really important, and I'll end now, is that we want these jobs, if we're going to be providing higher paying jobs, we want to make sure that the residents that take those jobs, if they're not existing residents, that they're going to move to Oxnard and live in Oxnard for that employment. And I think, as I have promoted in the past, it's very important that schools in the city are offering the very, very best opportunities. And I'm excited, Mr. Chair and Committee Member Basua and city staff, I'm very excited that there is a new high school that's going to be built off of Rose and Camino del Sol. And I'm encouraged that the Oxnard Union High School District has not eliminated the possibility that there could be a science technology emphasis at that school. And not only is I think that important, but it's very close to St. John's Hospital and what I call the medical corridor. And we need to attract and reattract nurses, as an example, and other highly skilled medical personnel to the city of Oxnard. And Mr. Chair and Committee Member Basua, a very important component of that is making sure that we have the very best schools in the city of Oxnard. So I'm very encouraged by this report, and I want to thank the presenter and Rosie and Mr. Lambert and also Mr. Nguyen for presiding over this. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Basua.
Thank you, Ms. Ornelas, for your presentation. It was very insightful and very well presented. I'm kind of excited about this, especially because it's nice to see it come to fruition. And, one thing that I'm interested in that kind of grabbed my attention was the fiber master plan. As you know, with technology, we need to make sure that as we are making these investments, that we're also keeping up with technology. And I think that's extremely important nowadays, especially now with, I can use the COVID-19. We have almost all our students online now, and we need to just make sure that we have the optics and the availability to make sure that we are going to be successful in what we're doing and competitive also. Just focusing on what the mayor said in regards to Sequoia Farms, I agree. I think we need to, try to focus on bringing the best kind of jobs to Oxnard, and also well-paying jobs. I also agree with, City Manager Nguyen, where, the manufacturing jobs, we have to have those in our city. But just to end, I'm really excited about this plan and definitely support it and the investments that we're going to be making. It's really exciting to see. Thank you.
Thank you. And lastly, as was stated by my colleagues, I think, technology is going to be key to our future and everything that we do here in the city. As previously stated by Councilwoman Basua, education has advanced more in the last 2 weeks than it probably has in the last 50 years, simply by the majority of students actually being online now. And it's been an interesting transition, and it is a transition of the future, and it kind of sees where we are as a community. Obviously, we haven't gotten, or I don't think we've gotten anywhere near to the 5G aspect of it. As mentioned, Sakioka Farms, it needs to be a home run. This is our last. We're trying to attract people, we are going to need housing. Housing is going to be crucial.
Chair Madrigal, if you can hear us, it seems that we're having a connection issue. I don't know if maybe you might want to try calling in on the phone number. Gabby, you're still connected, right?
I'm connected.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm also.
Okay.
I might just want to say, while the chair is temporarily out of commission, I just want to thank both committee members for bringing up the fiber optic. I didn't give a large overview. I just wanted to focus on what I think is really the most important aspect of our strategy, which is workforce preparedness. But I've been front and center in the fiber optic master plan and the planning process of bringing fiber optic cable. And I think to attract those employers to Sakioka Farms, that is going to be an essential component. And I'm really excited about the downtown and efforts that the city is taking there. So it's much more than just workforce preparedness, but I'm very encouraged by this. So I hope we have the chairman back soon. He's probably calling.
I'm trying to call him.
Oh,
Message system 805.
Okay, well, we'll try later or something.
Are you going to try again, Madam City Clerk?
Yeah, trying to.
Okay.
Ask her.
Hello. Am I back on?
Yes, you're back with us.
Okay. Just like I was saying, even more important now, the lack of 5G in our city is just being shown right now. Something simple like a video conference, we can't do with some of the technology that we have in the present as a city. And like I previously, I don't know where I got cut off, but I did mention housing is going to be crucial to some of these future developments. You know, we need to look at the future. We need to see where we are going as a community, and this is going to be vital. Any other comments by my colleagues?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I just made some comments when you were temporarily out, and I don't want to repeat those again, but I'm just supporting you and the committee. I'm really, and committee member Basua, in our joint attempts as a committee and then to the city council to really focus exactly on what you just said about 5G, about fiber optic master cable, and also being very excited about the downtown. So, and your comments, Mr. Chair, about housing are very relevant. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to our next item is, do we need to take a vote on this? Or it's just file and receive and file, I mean.
It's a receive, provide feedback, which the committee has done. This is Jeff Lambert again. We will take that. And the next step for us is to do some outreach with our stakeholders and then prepare the sort of the actual full document to bring back to this committee for recommendation to the full city council.
Okay, perfect. Then continuing, items for future agendas. Any items by either of the committee members?
Mr. Chair, I would just, I know that we have a new project manager or a person that's assigned specifically to project. And I would like to kind of get a better idea. I did read a job description of the job, so it actually looks like it's actually doing a lot of managing of Heritage Square, the contracts, but it would be good to understand now that we have a project person in place, what in fact the department itself is going to be busy working on other than this economic development strategy.
Okay, great. Anything, Councilwoman Basua?
No, nothing at this time.
Okay, perfect. I have nothing at this time. So with that, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.